This is a very nice gentleman. This is Cure for the Mind, and SXZ Phil. That's what he calls himself on YouTube. You can see it right there. You can click on his name. Challenge to all atheists. And his video says, "How can you look at this and not, have self-evidence that God exists?" Um, I like the very top comment of the question where it says, "How can you look at the evolution and still believe in God?" Okay, so I'm gonna try to be as quiet as possible because this video is kind of volume is low, even though I have it up as possible. All right, so
See, recently there has been a lot of talk on the internet, especially with the recent events of the world about the existence of God. Well, I want you to take a look at this and tell me that this is not definitive proof, that you just cannot say that life came from nothing. How can you look at this?
Wait a minute. We're not saying life came from nothing. We're saying it's a possibility it came from nothing. We're also saying it's a possibility that it always just existed. We're also suggesting that maybe something put it there, but we're not saying God put it there. We're not saying that this God made the laws and stuff like that is believed in the Bible. But we are saying that what if it always existed without the need of God? I'm sorry, please continue.
How can you look at this infant and say that there is no God?
Well, I can look at that infant and say there is no God, but there is a father and a mother. I can question whether you're the father, and say, well, he looks like you, but let's go deeper than that. Let's DNA test him and prove he's your son. See? So, is there a God? No. Is there a father and mother? Maybe. Well, there has to be. He was conceived. But are you the father? And is your wife or whoever you're claiming to produce that child is the mother? Well, please continue.
How can you look at this infant here and say that there's no miracle of life?
What connection do you make about the miracle of life? See, in order to prove your Christianity, you first have to prove how the connection of miracle happens. And you don't do that.
You guys are wrong.
Okay, we're wrong because a female produces an egg and the male produces a sperm, and together they fuse together, giving genetic code to each other. It's called the process of what's it called? It's trying to so the species can be stronger. Having different types of genes and stuff like that, and mixing them together and produces your child. And how can you call it a miracle when we understand the process of an infant? Female egg, male sperm, then it goes into, and then the cells multiply, and then it happens. It turns into a zygote, and then from a zygote, a fetus, and from a fetus to an infant, and then from an infant comes your baby. So, yeah, I can say God doesn't exist.
Just, how can you look at this infant in his mouth and say that there is no God? How can you do that? There's just no way.
Okay, how can I do that? How can you say it was a miracle? There's just no way either.
So, you guys must be wrong.
No, necessarily because we don't understand other parts of life does not mean we're wrong. That just means we don't understand yet. You claiming to say you understand is really not understanding without proof or evidence.
See? How can you look at this and say that there is no God?
Well, again, I go back to the other kid.
Look at this infant. This infant. The two of them staring. So the Muslim here kind of just figured out getting that refinery. How can you nice play. And right now he does have a bear any of this.
I refute it because there is no proof of God. I try to prove you're God and fail at an attempt. That's why I don't go with that side. I go with more of a standpoint where I'm able to question, and that's what science allows me to do. If I go to school, become a scientist, I can question the foundation of life. I can use the world's tools and technology that let me observe it. This is why I refute God, because it doesn't allow me to question it. It doesn't allow me to go find it out. It just says, here's the proof, and like you're saying right now, here's proof that God exists. Believe it without needing to question it. So if we don't question it, then we probably wouldn't get scientists saying, well, it comes from a male sperm and a female egg, and it goes into the female. Then it multiplies and does all that. We wouldn't understand that if we kept believing that this is a miracle. So yeah, it's difficult to have an explanation, but yet we try more so than Christians do. You can say Einstein was a Christian, and you can go that way, and he was a very smart, educated man. Yes, he was a smart, educated man, and yet in his last theory, his unified theory of everything, one theory that contemplated everything, failed. He failed at producing God. He even said that he was trying to catch God's work, and he failed. Why did he fail? This very educated person.